Imagine a washed-up stuntman turned Hollywood fixer navigating the dark underbelly of 1970s Tinseltown. Now imagine Brad Pitt, Quentin Tarantino, and David Fincher teaming up to bring that story to life. This isn't just another sequel. It's something stranger, darker, and possibly far more brilliant. Brad Pitt just dropped bombshell details about The Adventures of Cliff Booth, a brand new Netflix spin-off based on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And yes, it's written by Quentin Tarantino, but directed by none other than David Fincher. So what exactly is this project? Why did Tarantino step back? And what does it mean for the future of the OUATIH universe? Let's dive deep into everything we know so far. During press interviews for his upcoming racing film, F1, Brad Pitt surprised fans with a juicy update. While speaking with Deadline, he confirmed the rumors swirling for weeks. The Adventures of Cliff Booth is real. It's happening, and it starts production next month. But here's the twist. This isn't a full-blown sequel. According to Pitt, it's an episode, not a continuation of the main story. He said, quote, "This is something Quentin Tarantino wrote. It's an episode, not really a sequel, of the character from Once Upon a Time. He didn't want to direct it at this point, so David Fincher stepped in." In other words, this project is a standalone chapter, a focused dive into a slice of Cliff Booth's life, not a sweeping, multi-decade epic. Let's talk about the team behind this spin-off, because it's a filmmaker's dream. First, the writer. Quentin Tarantino, fresh off canceling what was supposed to be his 10th and final film, The Movie Critic, has chosen to channel his creative energy into writing, not directing. While Tarantino may not be in the director's chair, this project still bears his unmistakable fingerprints. Sharp dialogue, stylized violence, and biting commentary on Hollywood's golden days. Second, the director. David Fincher, the man behind Fight Clubs, C7N, and Zodiac, is stepping in. Fincher isn't known for directing someone else's passion projects, so this collaboration with Tarantino is already raising eyebrows. Fincher's reputation for precision, darkness, and psychological intensity could turn Cliff Booth's low-key persona into something far more layered and sinister. And third, the returning star. Brad Pitt, of course. The Oscar-winning actor will reprise his role as Cliff Booth, the enigmatic stuntman, war veteran and quiet killer who walked away from the events of OUATIH without a scratch, and without many answers. Plot details are tightly under wraps, but here's what we do know. The film is set in the 1970s, several years after the events of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Cliff Booth is no longer just a stuntman. He's reinvented himself as a Hollywood studio fixer, someone who cleans up scandals, solves problems quietly, and maybe buries bodies. It's a perfect setup. The 70s were a transformative decade for Hollywood. The studio system was collapsing. Young auteurs like Scorsese, Coppola, and Spielberg were on the rise. Behind the glamour, crime, drugs, and exploitation ran rampant. In that chaos, someone like Cliff Booth, calm, skilled, and morally flexible, could thrive. We also know a few new names joining the project. Elizabeth Debicki. Known for her roles in The Crown and Tenet, Debicki brings elegance and mystery. Is she a movie star? A victim? Or maybe someone Cliff has to silence? Scott Kahn. With his gritty presence and connection to classic Hollywood royalty, Kahn might represent the new breed of brash, ambitious actors Cliff has to wrangle. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, too. One of the most exciting actors working today, Yahya might play a producer, an activist, or a rival fixer. His casting suggests this story could explore racial tensions and the shifting power dynamics of 70s Hollywood. Each actor hints at a different side of the story: celebrity, power, and corruption. Many fans are asking, why wouldn't Tarantino direct this himself? The answer seems to be focus and closure. Tarantino has long promised that his 10th film would be his final one. With The Movie Critic shelved, he appears to be pivoting towards smaller, more intimate projects like plays and limited scripts. And directing something like The Adventures of Cliff Booth might have felt like cheating his own 10 films rule. By handing the reins to Fincher, someone he respects deeply, he's allowing the story to live on without breaking his personal vow. It's not the first time he's done this. Tarantino wrote True Romance for Tony Scott and From Dusk Till Dawn for Robert Rodriguez. Both films carried his voice, but had a completely different flavor through someone else's lens. Fincher and Pitt aren't just collaborators, they're cinematic alchemists. Together they gave us C7 and a dark detective thriller that redefined the genre. Find Fight Club, a cultural earthquake, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, a philosophical tale about time and love. Now, they return for something different. A noir-drenched, character-driven Hollywood story, and Cliff Booth may become their most complex character yet. Brad Pitt emphasized that this is an episode. That wording is specific, intentional. Could The Adventures of Cliff Booth be the beginning of an anthology? A series of stories that explore different chapters of his life? One film could dive into his mysterious war background. Another could focus on his stunt career. A third could examine his rumored criminal past. If Netflix sees success, and let's be honest, they probably will, this could easily expand into a Cliff Booth cinematic universe. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a tribute to a time that no longer exists, a hazy, nostalgic vision of 1969. It romanticized the magic, the danger, and the chaos of old Hollywood. The Adventures of Cliff Booth is something else. This is the morning after. It's the hangover of the dream. The 1970s were darker, weirder, and more dangerous. And Cliff Booth is no longer just a side character, he is the story. This movie could finally answer questions that haunted fans. Did Cliff really kill his wife? How deep is his connection to the underworld? What happens to a man who's been forgotten by the very industry he served? In the age of endless reboots and tired sequels, The Adventures of Cliff Booth feels different. It's not nostalgia. It's not fan service. It's a high-stakes experiment with three of the most interesting minds in cinema: Tarantino, Fincher, and Pitt. It might be the beginning of something bold, or it might be the final strange chapter in a once-forgotten man's story. Either way, it demands our attention. So here's the question for you, the film lover, the Tarantino fan, the Netflix binge watcher. Do you want to see more of Cliff Booth? Or should some stories be left in mystery? Let us know in the comments. And if you're excited to see Pitt and Fincher reunite under Tarantino's pen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned because the adventure has only just begun.